There's a moment every morning, just before you open your eyes, when your heart is quiet, your mind is blank, and life feels new again. That moment, just a few seconds long, decides who you'll be today. But most of us, instead of feeling ourselves, reach for the phone. We scroll through the world before we even remember our own heartbeat, and slowly we start living other people's mornings, not our own. Today I want to share with you 9 things to feel every morning, not habits, not hacks, but feelings that make you find yourself again. If you stay till the end, I promise, tomorrow's sunrise will not just light up your room, it will light up your purpose. 1, feel gratitude. Before you get out of bed, whisper thank you. Thank you for the breath, the body, the chance to try again. Because when you start your day with appreciation, life gives you more to appreciate. 2, feel calmness. Sit still for 60 seconds. Listen to your heartbeat. That is your natural rhythm. In a world that moves fast, calmness is power. It reminds you that peace is not found, it's felt. 3, feel energy. Stretch, breathe, smile. Let your body feel alive before your mind starts racing. Because energy isn't something you get, it's something you allow. 4, feel confidence. Look into the mirror and remind yourself, I have handled worse. I can handle today. Confidence doesn't come from achievements. It comes from remembering your strength. 5, feel focus. Take 1 goal, not 10. Ask yourself, if I can complete 1 thing with excellence today, what will it be? A focused mind creates a fulfilled day. 6, feel kindness. Before you speak to anyone, feel kindness inside you. Even a silent smile in the morning can change someone's entire day, including your own. 7, feel discipline. Make your bed, drink your water, step into order. Discipline is not control. It's self-respect. It tells your mind, I can trust myself. Feel purpose. Remind yourself why you do what you do, whether it's for your family, your dream, or your growth. Purpose turns ordinary mornings into meaningful beginnings. 9, feel hope. No matter how yesterday ended, today is a new chance. Hope is the quiet belief that your best days are still ahead. And that belief alone can change everything. Conclusion. My friends, the world will always try to tell you how to live, but your mornings are yours. Protect them. Because how you feel in the first 10 minutes of the day decides what kind of human you'll be in the next 10 hours. So tomorrow, don't just wake up. Rise up, feel yourself, feel your power, feel your purpose, and you'll discover that the richest mornings don't begin with money or success. They begin with you every morning, before the noise of the world reaches your ears, before the phone lights up with messages, before the mind begins its restless planning. There lies a moment of stillness, a sacred pause where you can meet yourself. That is the time to feel gratitude, not the kind of gratitude that we post about or speak of as a virtue, but the quiet kind that is deeply personal, the gratitude that comes from realizing that life has chosen to wake you up once again. When you open your eyes, you're not just beginning another routine, you're being given another opportunity to think better, to do better, to love better. Gratitude is the feeling that connects you to that opportunity. It is the invisible thread that links your heart to your purpose, your emotions to your strength. Most people wake up and immediately start chasing the clock, the deadlines, the expectations. They forget that before the chase begins, they must remember why they are running in the first place. Gratitude reminds you of that why. Imagine waking up and taking a slow, deep breath, just one, and thinking, I have air in my lungs. I have a chance today. That small thought changes the tone of your entire day. Because when you start with appreciation, you stop taking everything for granted. The morning light doesn't just look brighter, it feels warmer. The people around you don't just appear, they feel like blessings. Even the smallest moments, a sip of tea, a calm breeze, a smile, carry more weight because you're aware of them. Gratitude isn't denial of struggle. It doesn't mean your life is perfect. It means you've learned to see the good even when the bad exists. You may have challenges waiting for you, a difficult meeting, an argument, a loss, but gratitude builds a quiet strength inside you that says, I will face it because I am still here. That realization is power. It transforms how you react to everything else. Instead of feeling rushed, you start feeling grounded. Instead of seeing scarcity, you begin to notice abundance. It's easy to complain about what's missing, the success we don't yet have, the comfort we're still working for, the people we wish were different. But when you start your morning by counting even one blessing, you begin a chain reaction of positive awareness. You see, the mind follows the pattern you set for it. If you start with gratitude, your mind will look for more reasons to be thankful throughout the day. If you start with frustration, it will search for more things to complain about. Gratitude is not just emotional, it's psychological reprogramming. This is why successful, peaceful people guard their morning so carefully. They don't allow the world to interrupt their first emotion, because that first emotion is the seed that grows into the entire day. You can plant worry, or you can plant peace. You can plant stress, or you can plant strength. Gratitude is that first seed, small, invisible, but capable of creating an entire forest of positivity in your mind. And the beauty of gratitude is that it doesn't cost anything. You don't need the perfect environment. You don't need wealth. You don't even need to feel completely happy. All you need is awareness. The awareness to pause and whisper a quiet thank you for the things that are going right, for the things that could have gone wrong but didn't, and even for the things that challenge you because they're teaching you. When you begin your morning with gratitude, your interactions change too. You become more patient with others because you recognize how fortunate you are to even have those relationships. You become more resilient because gratitude shifts your focus from what you've lost to what you still have. You become more alive because you're no longer sleepwalking through the day. You're feeling it with presence. So, tomorrow, when you wake up, don't rush. Don't let your hand reach for the phone before your heart reaches for peace. Take one deep breath, close your eyes for a second, and say to yourself, I am thankful, I am alive, I am here to try again. That is how you begin to feel yourself every morning, because in that moment you are not defined by your work, your failures, or your fears. You are simply human, alive, breathing, and blessed. That feeling of gratitude, my friends, is the first connection between your soul and the new day. It is not a ritual, it's a relationship between you and the miracle of existence itself. And when you build your mornings on that foundation, every challenge becomes lighter, every task feels meaningful, and every success feels earned. Gratitude is not just how you start your day, it's how you build your life, one thankful morning at a time. Calmness is not the absence of noise, it is the ability to remain still in the middle of it. Every morning, before the world demands your attention, there's a brief window where calmness can be felt. A window so small, most people miss it completely. They wake up, grab their phones, rush into thoughts of yesterday and worries of tomorrow, and in doing so, they lose the only moment of peace that was truly theirs. But when you consciously choose calmness, you give yourself the gift of control, not control over the world, but over your own mind. Calmness every morning is like setting the foundation of a house. If the base is strong, the storms of the day cannot shake it. Imagine waking up, sitting on the edge of your bed, and just breathing. Not thinking, not planning, not regretting, just breathing. That simple act tells your mind, I am in charge. I decide the pace of my day. The world runs fast, and it will continue to do so. But your strength lies in choosing your own rhythm, in being steady while everything else rushes. Most people think calmness means doing nothing, but it's quite the opposite. Calmness is deep awareness. It's when you see clearly what needs to be done, but without panic. It's when your actions come from clarity, not from chaos. A calm mind doesn't react. It responds. It doesn't fight with life. It flows with it. That is why calmness is not weakness. It's quiet power. It's strength without noise, confidence without aggression. When you wake up and feel calm, your energy doesn't scatter in 10 directions. You don't chase distractions. You guide your focus. You notice things, the softness of the morning air, the warmth of sunlight, the quiet hum of life around you. These small details, ignored by most, become reminders that you are alive and that peace exists even in a busy world. This awareness is what separates peaceful achievers from restless doers. Both may be successful, but only one sleeps peacefully at night. Calmness also heals. It gives your heart a chance to reset before it faces the world again. You may have fought battles yesterday, mental, emotional, or professional, but calmness in the morning wipes away the residue of those struggles. It whispers to you, it's a new day. You can begin again. That message alone has saved more people than motivation ever could, because sometimes what we need is not more energy, but more peace. In calmness, you learn to listen, not just to others, but to yourself. The body tells you when it's tired, the heart tells you when it's hurt, and the mind tells you when it's overwhelmed. But you can only hear these whispers when your inner world is quiet. If your mornings begin in noise, your decisions will be noisy too. But if your mornings begin in calmness, your decisions will carry wisdom. A calm morning is not wasted time, it's invested time. It prepares you for everything that follows. Even in leadership, calmness is a sign of maturity. Anyone can shout, few can stay silent and strong. When you speak from calmness, your words carry weight. When you act from calmness, your results carry purpose. The world respects those who can stay composed when everything seems to fall apart. Calmness builds that composure in you, one morning at a time. There will be mornings when your mind feels heavy, when calmness seems far away. Those are the mornings that need it the most. Sit down, close your eyes, take slow breaths, feel your pulse. It doesn't matter if your thoughts are racing, let them pass like clouds. You are the sky, vast, clear, and unshaken. Thoughts are just the weather. They come and go. You remain. That realization is the heart of calmness. You don't have to meditate for hours or chant words you don't understand. Calmness isn't about ritual. It's about awareness. It's about giving yourself permission to slow down, to be gentle with yourself. It's about realizing that you are not late. You are exactly where you need to be. And when you start believing that, your anxiety begins to lose its grip. Calmness also creates better relationships. When you're calm, you listen more and react less. You don't argue to win. You speak to understand. You stop carrying yesterday's anger into today's conversations. And slowly, people begin to feel safe around you. Not because you're loud, but because your presence feels stable. That stability begins every morning, in silence, when you choose peace over panic. The truth is, calmness is contagious. When you walk into a room with peace in your heart, others feel it. When your mind is centered, you give comfort to others without even speaking. This is how calmness becomes not only a personal power, but also a form of quiet leadership. It changes not only your mornings, but also the mornings of everyone around you. So tomorrow, before you check the time or think of your to-do list, Give yourself 60 seconds, sit, breathe, feel your own existence. That small moment of calm will follow you through the day like a quiet strength. The world outside may be loud, but your mind doesn't have to be. Remember, the strongest trees don't resist the wind. They bend, but they never break. That is what calmness teaches you. It's not about stopping the storms. It's about standing firm in their presence. When you begin every morning with calmness, life stops feeling like a race and starts feeling like a journey. You realize that peace is not found somewhere far away. It's right there inside you, waiting to be felt every single morning. Discipline is often misunderstood. People see it as a restriction, a form of control that limits freedom. But in truth, discipline is the highest form of freedom. It's the ability to live life on your own terms, not under the pull of your impulses. Every morning when you open your eyes, you stand at a crossroads. One path leads to distraction and delay, and the other leads to direction and growth. The choice you make in those first few moments defines not only your day, but the person you are becoming. Feeling discipline every morning means feeling proud of yourself before the world gives you a reason to be proud. It means waking up with self-respect, not because someone is watching, but because you know who you are when no one is. The alarm rings, and in that moment, your mind whispers two voices. One says, sleep a little longer, and the other says, get up, your purpose is waiting. Discipline is the quiet decision to listen to the second voice, even when the first one feels louder. True discipline is not punishment, it is preparation. It's not about forcing yourself into routines. It's about building trust with yourself. When you do what you said you would do, even in small things, you build a reputation with your own soul. You start believing your own promises. And when you believe yourself, confidence becomes natural. That's why people with discipline appear calm and strong, because their strength comes from consistency, not chaos. The morning is the best time to strengthen this feeling. It's the one part of the day you can truly control before the world interferes. Making your bed, exercising, meditating, journaling. These are not just tasks. They are messages to your mind that say, I am capable of order, I am in charge. Every small act of discipline creates a ripple effect. The way you start your morning often predicts how you handle everything that follows. If you begin with order, you carry order into your work, your thoughts, and your emotions. Discipline also teaches you respect for time. The undisciplined person believes they have plenty of it. The disciplined person knows it is precious. Each morning becomes a chance to honor that time, not by rushing, but by using it wisely. The act of rising early, of organizing your space, of choosing focus over distraction. These are small victories that compound into success. Discipline is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters every day without fail. There is a beauty in discipline that few notice. It gives life rhythm and meaning. A disciplined morning doesn't feel dull, it feels powerful. Because when you're consistent, you no longer depend on motivation. Motivation is like the wind, it comes and goes. Discipline is the sail that keeps you moving even when the wind stops blowing. It doesn't rely on feelings, it relies on decisions. That's what makes it so reliable. Every person who has achieved something remarkable has one thing in common. Not luck, not genius, but discipline. The ability to do what must be done, especially when they don't feel like it. When you cultivate this emotion in the morning, it becomes your anchor. No matter how unpredictable the day becomes, you know you've already won the first battle, the battle with yourself. And that victory gives you momentum to win the rest. Discipline also protects your peace. When your mornings are structured, your mind feels lighter. There's less confusion, less guilt, and less wasted energy. You don't need to chase things. They come to you naturally because your actions are aligned. You stop reacting to life and start directing it. That sense of control, the awareness that you are steering your ship instead of drifting, is one of the most empowering feelings a human being can experience. But let's be honest. Discipline is not easy. Some mornings you'll fail, you'll skip the routine, hit snooze, and feel disappointed. That's normal. The key is not perfection, it's persistence. Discipline grows stronger not when you never fall, but when you keep rising after every fall. Each time you return to your routine, you remind yourself that your willpower is stronger than your weakness. Over time, that belief becomes unshakable. Discipline is also an act of love, love for your future self. When you choose to work out instead of staying in bed, when you choose to read instead of scrolling endlessly, when you choose to prepare instead of procrastinate, you are showing care for the person you are becoming. You're saying, I value myself enough to do what's necessary. That's a powerful message, and your heart feels it every morning you act on it. In a world full of distractions, discipline is your protection. It shields you from noise, from wasted energy, and from regret. The world may reward talent, but it respects discipline, because talent without discipline fades. Discipline without talent still builds something meaningful. It's the quiet force behind every great life. So each morning, remind yourself that luxury is not comfort. It's control over your mind and actions. Feel the quiet strength of doing what's right, even when no one will notice. That's the real luxury, the kind that can't be bought or borrowed. And when you start your mornings with that kind of power, you no longer need external validation. You know you are already enough because you are living with purpose, consistency, and respect for your own potential. Discipline doesn't make your mornings harder. It makes your life easier. It replaces chaos with clarity, laziness with direction, and doubt with pride. When you rise each morning and follow through on your intentions, you create a sense of self-trust that no failure can break. That's what it truly means to feel discipline, not as a burden, but as freedom, because the person who can command their mornings can command their destiny. Small acts create big energy. Every morning, before the world demands greatness from you, it asks only for one thing: presence. The smallest, most ordinary actions you take in those early hours have the power to shape how you think, feel, and perform for the rest of the day. Energy doesn't come from a cup of coffee or a motivational quote. It comes from motion, from movement, from small intentional acts that tell your body and mind, I'm alive and I'm ready. Most people wait for motivation to arrive before they move. They say, I'll start when I feel ready. But the truth is, you'll never feel ready until you start. The first few minutes of the morning are the most powerful because they decide the tone of your energy. If you rise with hesitation, the day feels heavy. But if you rise with even a small action, stretching your arms, taking a few deep breaths, drinking a glass of water, you begin to create momentum. And momentum is where energy lives. You don't have to climb mountains or run marathons to feel alive. Sometimes all it takes is opening your window and letting the morning air touch your face. That one moment can wake up not just your body, but your soul. When you stand in that soft light, breathing slowly, you remind yourself that life is moving and you are part of it. That feeling, that gentle awareness, is energy in its purest form. Small acts have power because they are consistent. Big changes come and go, but small rituals stay. Making your bed, smiling at yourself in the mirror, saying a quiet affirmation. These may seem insignificant, yet they build a foundation of stability and confidence. Each small act says to your mind, I can do this. And when your mind believes that, your energy expands. The day begins to feel lighter, not because it has fewer challenges, but because you are stronger than you were yesterday. Energy is not only physical, it's emotional and spiritual. The way you think shapes the energy you feel. A simple positive thought, I am capable, I will make today meaningful, I am grateful to be alive, can shift your entire emotional frequency. You start noticing possibilities instead of problems. You stop carrying yesterday's weight into today. That small mental act is like sunlight breaking through clouds, quiet but powerful enough to change everything. There's a deep truth about energy that people often overlook. It grows when you give it, when you greet someone with warmth, when you help someone without being asked, when you smile even on a hard day. You create energy within yourself. The more kindness you spread, the stronger your own spirit becomes. That's why small acts of goodness every morning, even if it's just speaking softly to yourself or showing appreciation for the people in your life, can lift your mood for hours. Small acts also anchor you in the present. They pull you away from the noise of the past and the worries of the future. When you take a slow sip of tea, walk barefoot on the floor, or simply listen to the quiet sounds around you, you are grounding yourself. You're saying, I'm here now. And that awareness turns into focus. Focus turns into calm. Calm turns into energy. Clean, sustainable energy that lasts far longer than anything temporary or external. Your body loves routine, and your soul loves attention. When you give both what they need through small actions, moving, breathing, reflecting, you begin to feel harmony inside. That harmony is energy. It doesn't feel like an explosion. It feels like balance. You no longer wake up feeling drained or lost because your mornings give you a sense of rhythm. That rhythm is your internal power switch. Once it's turned on, nothing outside can easily turn it off. Remember, the biggest energy drain in life is overthinking. The more you think about doing something, the less energy you have left to do it. So instead of planning your entire day in your head the moment you wake up, start with one act. Make your bed, walk a few steps, say one positive word. Let that act carry you forward naturally. Small movements lead to big momentum, and momentum brings clarity. Energy doesn't always roar. Sometimes it hums quietly. It's in the way you smile when you don't feel like smiling, in the way you stand tall even when you're tired, in the way you choose peace instead of panic. Every time you make one small, strong choice in the morning, your energy multiplies. It's like lighting a candle. One flame can brighten an entire room, and one act can transform your entire day. There will be mornings when you feel heavy, unmotivated, or unsure. Those are the mornings when small acts matter most. Because when big goals feel impossible, tiny steps keep you moving. Energy doesn't disappear. It just hides beneath the weight of inactivity. And the moment you move, even a little, it awakens again. That's the secret to staying strong, even when life feels uncertain. Keep moving, keep feeling, keep choosing small actions that keep your inner fire alive. So tomorrow morning, don't search for energy, create it. Open your eyes with intention, stretch your body, take a deep breath that fills your lungs and your heart, smile for no reason. Let that smile remind you that life itself is the biggest reason to be energized. The most powerful mornings are not the ones filled with noise and speed, but the ones where small, consistent acts remind you of your strength. Big energy doesn't come from big events. It comes from small beginnings repeated every day. When you treat those small acts with respect, they reward you with balance, focus, and vitality. Over time, they become your quiet armor, protecting you from fatigue, negativity, and doubt. Because no matter what the day brings, you'll know that your energy comes from within, built by simple, meaningful actions that no one can take away. Purpose is the invisible force that turns ordinary mornings into meaningful beginnings. Without it, even the brightest sunrise feels dull and the longest sleep still leaves you tired. Every morning when you open your eyes, the world quietly asks you one question: why? Why are you getting up? Why are you doing what you do? And the strength of your answer decides the quality of your day. Purpose is not something you find outside of yourself. It's something you feel within. It's the reason that gives direction to your energy and peace to your heart. When you wake up with purpose, even the smallest actions feel important. Making your bed isn't just a task, it becomes a symbol of order. Drinking water isn't routine, it's self-care. Walking to work isn't a chore, it's movement toward your goals. Purpose turns every action into progress, no matter how simple it looks. It reminds you that every morning is a new page, and you have the pen in your hand. Without purpose, life becomes a series of repeated days. With purpose, every day becomes a step forward. The truth is, most people don't lack time or talent. They lack direction. They wake up reacting to life instead of designing it. They check their phones, scroll through news or social media, and let the outside world decide how they feel. But a person with purpose wakes up differently. They begin the day by reminding themselves of their why. Maybe it's to build something meaningful, to take care of loved ones, to improve even 1% from yesterday. Whatever the reason, that clarity acts like sunlight cutting through fog. It clears confusion and gives focus. Purpose is deeply personal. It doesn't always have to be grand or world-changing. It can be as simple as wanting to bring kindness into every conversation or to learn something new each day. What matters is that it feels true to you. When your mornings begin with that truth, you walk into the day with calm confidence. You no longer compete with others because you're aligned with your own path. Purpose gives you peace. Not because everything is easy, but because everything makes sense. There will be mornings when you question your purpose, when your energy feels low and your goals seem far away. Those are the mornings that truly test your heart. But even then, purpose whispers quietly, reminding you why you started. It tells you that growth is never comfortable, but it's always worth it. It tells you that not every day will bring results, but every day can bring progress. When you hold on to that feeling, your resilience becomes unbreakable. Purpose doesn't demand perfection, it demands presence. It's not about doing everything right, but doing everything with meaning. You might make mistakes, take detours, or face delays, but as long as you know your why, you'll never be lost. People without purpose look for motivation. People with purpose create it. They don't wait for good days. They build them one morning at a time. One of the most powerful ways to connect with your purpose every morning is through reflection. Spend a minute in silence and ask yourself, what matters most to me today? The answer doesn't need to be complicated. It could be, I want to be patient, or I want to finish what I started, or I want to make someone smile. When you set that simple intention, it gives shape to your entire day. You move with direction instead of drifting with distractions. And that direction gives you energy that no external motivation can match. Purpose also brings stability in chaos. Life will always have uncertainties, deadlines, problems, losses. But when you have a purpose, you learn to stand firm. It becomes your anchor in the storm. Even when everything around you changes, your sense of why keeps you steady. You begin to see challenges not as punishments, but as opportunities to grow stronger. You realize that every difficulty is teaching you something valuable about yourself and your journey. When you live without purpose, the mornings feel heavy. You wake up asking, what's the point? But when you live with purpose, you wake up saying, let's begin. That small shift in mindset changes everything. You stop chasing temporary excitement and start seeking lasting fulfillment. You stop measuring your life by what you get and start valuing it by what you give. Purpose transforms success from something you achieve into something you feel. Purpose also connects you to others. When you live with a sense of meaning, your energy becomes contagious. You inspire people without trying because they can feel your sincerity. Your words carry weight, your presence brings calm, and your work gains depth. You stop living just for yourself and start living as part of something greater. That's when mornings become sacred, because they're not just the start of another day, but another chance to serve, to grow, to make a difference, however small. So tomorrow, before you step out of bed, pause for a moment. Place your hand on your heart and ask yourself, what am I living for today? Don't rush the answer. Let it rise gently from within. It might remind you of a dream you've buried, a promise you've made, or a person you love deeply. That is your purpose. Not something you need to invent, but something you need to remember. And once you do, carry it with you into everything you touch. Purpose doesn't need noise, it needs clarity. It doesn't shout, it guides. And when you begin your mornings with that quiet sense of direction, you walk through your day with dignity, because purpose gives you strength in struggle, patience in progress, and joy in even the smallest victories. Every morning is an invitation to live not by habit, but by meaning. When you answer that invitation, you no longer just wake up, you rise.